Hello friends. So today we will be seeing and we will be learning about plants. Now what is photosynthesis? When carbon dioxide will combine with the water, it will form oxygen and glucose in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Sunlight is in the nature, whereas chlorophyll is a green pigment which is there in the plant. And whenever it produces glucose, we can confirm it by the test for starch, which is iodine test. If you can put the leaf in a boiling water, then boil it in ethanol and test with iodine. If the leaf is having starch, it will give a blue-black color, whereas if it doesn't have a starch, it will be in a brown color. It will not have a blue-black color. Now to test if sunlight is required for photosynthesis, we have an experiment. You can cover a leaf in the plant with a black strip on either side and pin it up and keep it for 2 hours, and then after that we can test for iodine test. Okay. So we will pluck out this particular leaf from the plant, take off the black strips, then we will do the iodine test, like we will destarch the leaf, putting in the boiling water and again putting it in ethanol, boiling it in ethanol, and then after that go ahead with iodine test. We will find wherever there was a black strip, it tested negative for iodine test. So it gave brown color. The areas were blue-black in color. So that is why we can say that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. Next, you would have seen these kinds of plants, which is partially white and partially green in nature. So it has chlorophyll in the green part, whereas the other parts it is white, where it has no chlorophyll. Now to test whether chlorophyll is necessary, we will again take this particular leaf, sketch that part out. This is a variated leaf, and then we will again go ahead with the iodine test. We can see that wherever there was the green part, whichever was green in color, had tested positive for iodine test, whereas the portion which was not green in color tested negative or had a brown color.
Stems, leaves, photosynthesis, and in this video we will talk about flower.
Next, we will come to flowers. There are various parts of flowers. Okay, we have the stem, we have the receptacle or thalamus, and this is where all the flowers are being attached. So that is the receptacle or thalamus. Then we have the sepals, which is the green leafy part of the flower. Then we have the colorful part, which is the petal or the corolla. Then we have the male part, which is the stamen, and then the female part, which is the pistil. The pistil has stigma, style, pollen tube, ovary, and within that we have the ovules, whereas the stamen has anther and filament. Also the stem, it is also being shown here, where I was talking earlier about the xylem in the interior part, phloem in the exterior part, and the cortex area, which is the cambium. Okay, now coming the flower, if we see, it has got 4 circles. There had 4 circles. If you see here, you will see it clearly. The innermost part is the carpel or the sepal. Next is the stamen. Then we have the petal and then the sepal. Now, in the sepal, you would have seen it is very much seen when the flower is a bud. So this blooms, this protects the flower when it is a bud. The sepals are located beneath the petal. They are often mistaken as petals. The sepals act as a protective layer around an unopened flower. Next is the petal. Petals are very, very colorful, the colored part. So they are very, very important during the pollination. Okay. So the petals act as a colorful display to attract potential pollinators to the flower, which will take the pollens from one flower to another. The next is the stamen. So there is a filament and then you will find the stamen, and over here the filament is there. So you will have the powdery matters. The stamen consists of the anther and the filament. The anther produces the pollen and the filament provides support to the anther. So you will have the anther which is there, and inside that there are the pollen grains and the filament, green color filament you can see. So if you break out the anther, you will find number of pollen grains. So here the yellow color area is the pollen grains, and here the red colors ones are the stigma. Oh, now number still part where you have stigma, style and ovary. The female reproductive structure is called the pistil. The pistil consists of stigma, style, ovary. The stigma is the location of pollination. The style supports the stigma and transports the pollen to the ovary. So this is the function of stigma, style and ovary. Now if you see, there is a stigma which is very sticky, then the style is there, and then inside it you have the ovary. Now if you see both the stamen and the carpel side by side, you will see the ovary part. If we cut open the ovary part, inside we have the ovary walls, and inside that we have small ovules which are very important for reproductions. So here you will have the ovary. It's the location of the fertilization. This is where pollen travels to reach the ovule. The embryo will develop here. It is a matured seed, whereas the pedicle is located at the base of the flower. It supports the flower and connects the flower to the stem when present. Pedicel is nothing but the lower area, okay, the stalk of the flower. Next we come to seed. Seed is required for germination. It has a seed coat, it has a food store and an embryo from where it germinates. So